Some other addictions. Chapter 1. A workaholic addiction. Workaholic/workaholism. My work is my worth. Workaholism is positive for some people because you perceive yourself as an artist of work. You love it so much that there's nothing else you'd rather do with your life, but the picture is not so clear and rosy. They say workaholism often hides other problems like wanting to escape home life, alcoholism, if you're single, you don't want to go home and be lonely, a distraction to cover up some problem you have, etc. Personally, I'm a workaholic for what I love to do because it keeps me inspired about my life. Day by day, my life is about releasing a certain amount of my natural energy to meet my own personal standard in life. This is generally a monumental amount of work, only to me it's not work. It's kinda like my fountain of youth. It keeps me young. There's almost nothing else I'd rather do. I don't wanna go to Disneyland, I think most TV and movies suck, frivolous pursuits like golf and video games bore me. I love what I do and I intuitively know it keeps me young, so I only think it's workaholism if it stresses you out, and there are plenty of counseling services opening up to treat workplace stress. Some workaholics burn out physically via heart attacks, brain hemorrhages, ulcers, etc. Others burn out mentally via depression, stress, and suicide. You need balance in your life. Remember the old cliché about not wishing you had spent more time at the office on your deathbed. Free time to do what you really want to do is the goal of life. Find something you really love to do that can earn you your cash. Lower your standard of living if it means more free time. You don't need much to live a great life. Workaholic websites. r-org/i-workaholism.htm, workaholism, Recovery Anonymous online. allaboutLifechallenges.org/workaholic.htm. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/workaholic. managementhelp.org/PRSN_WLL/workaholic.htm. r-a.org, Recoveries Anonymous. selfhelpmagazine.com/articles/wf/work.html. soulwork.net/sw_articles_eng/addictions.htm. workaholic.org. workaholics4hire.com. Workaholics Anonymous. 510-273-9253. workaholics-anonymous.org. Chapter 2. Some people claim these are addictions. Exercise addiction disorder/compulsive exercise. Some nerds somewhere decide that people who give it their all to reach their physical limits day after day is too positive. We can't have people like that in society, much stronger and more inspired than average people. We'll say there's something wrong with them. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/exercise_addiction. addiction.com/exercise addiction treatment. eatingdisorderhope.com/orthorexia excessive exercise. verywell.com/r-u-obsessed-with-exercise-3119167. verywell.com/exercise-eating-disorders-122964. kidshealth.org/en/parents/compulsive-exercise.html. compulsive hoarding/clutter addiction. Hoarding is considered an impulse control illness because it's really about buying stuff on impulse that you don't really need, or picking stuff out of the garbage then saving it even though you'll never use it. There are several possible explanations for this. You were poor at one time and now overcompensate by buying more stuff than you need. Owning things helps relieve a sense of loneliness and emptiness. You were brainwashed by society to think happiness is owning things. Buying stuff fills some obsessive well of emptiness within yourself. Hoarding is also called silogomania or disposophobia. There seems to be a correlation with obsessive-compulsive disorder. cluttertoclarity.com, How to Stop Hoarding. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/compulsive_hoarding. Animal hoarding/pet hoarding. There is animal hoarding, collecting a large number of pets, which some people say is a mental illness, never mind the fact that it could be about love of animals. earthtimes.org/article/show/76006.html theitch.com.au/news/national/call for animal horty ngtobe seen as mental illness. philadelphiaweekly.com/archives/200/02/animal_hoarding.html PETA.org/mc/facts_het_display.asp?id=27 psychiatrictimes.com/p0004225.html, the hoarding of animals. hsus.org/pets/issues_affecting_behind_the_horrors_of_animal_hoarding.html Kleptomania/shoplifting. According to the American Psychiatric Association, kleptomania is a rare mental disorder. It is called an impulse control disorder. A person feels the tension from the desire to steal something, so when he or she does so successfully, the tension is off. They feel exhilarated. Kleptomania is the impulse to steal items because it relieves some kind of self-generated tension in the individual. It is a way of getting back at the world for perceived past injustices. After the person gets away with it, the tension leaves, he or she feels a sense of euphoria for a while, like they've won something. Although kleptomania is called an impulse control disorder, it's not recognized as a legal defense for theft in any country. allpsych.com/disorders/impulse_control/kleptomania.html answers.com/topic/kleptomania whyhonestpeoplesteal.com money/shopping addiction/compulsive buying disorder. Don't let your possessions possess you. The main idea behind luxury shopping, which is shopping for things beyond needs, is that you have an empty soul. You're buying to fill an emotional void, to make you feel good for a minute or two. There's something missing in your life whereby you're not living an inspired lifestyle that keeps you happy within yourself or you don't feel loved enough, so one of the ways you fill up this emptiness is you buy useless crap because it helps you, gives you a momentary, transient tingle, but ultimately does not solve the problem of the empty soul. According to the book The High Price of Materialism by Tim Kasser, materialistic people are less honest, less ethical than other people, and less interested in personal relationships with other people. The more concerned you are with wealth, the less happier you'll be, and the more likely you'll be stressed out and depressed over a lifetime, because ultimately, these things can't satisfy the deep spiritual things you need to give you a solid sense of identity and peace about yourself. Be happy with what you got right now. The capitalist ideology always wants us to reach for something more, a bigger house, newer car, more stuff, but the happiest people are those at peace with the lives they're living without aspiring for more consumer goods or a promotion at work to make more money to buy more goods. Money is not the solution to a happy life, it's having a feeling within that you are living the life you were born to live by purging the natural inspired potential in your soul. The symbols of success in a capitalist world are to have lots of money, a big house, and own lots of material things. While these are good things to have to enhance the quality of your life, your real worth comes from your ability to do soulful pursuits to keep yourself inspired day after day. This type of lifestyle hasn't changed for me through the different cycles I went through being both poor and wealthy. Money is good to free my mind from the obsession of earning enough so that I don't have to worry about it, but I still live in a pretty small bedroom with bare walls and no home decor, just like I did when I was a hippie artist living a free life, and I don't feel any different inside just because I have more money. The challenge for me has always been to honor my intuitive inner standard regardless of whether I'm materially rich or poor. The money is nice because I can buy what I want when I want, but the truth is that the only time I was in a shopping mall in the past 3 years was when I got my eyes tested. I don't need much. I wear the same clothes year after year. If my sneakers work, I don't have to bother buying a new pair. I don't believe in home decor or most of the other things people buy to outfit their homes to reach some illusory standard of capitalist success. I have very few tools because I have no interest in that home improvement crap so many people seem to think enhances their lives. I don't want to harp it on here except to say that I believe the corporate pop culture agenda of the media, in particular TV, is subtly designed to make people feel deficient and jealous of all the material wealth they see on all the stupid programs, so they give up their hearts and souls to try to reach this standard of material success when they don't realize the key to life is to enjoy the journey through inspired action in both noble soulful pursuits and the pursuit of carnal hedonistic pleasures. These are action things you do through sustained movement day after day. They have very little to do with how big your house is, how many things you own or what kind of car you drive, yet how many people live by this ideology? Not very many. I lived with the bare bone basics for a long time. It's just naturally the way I live. Since I'm against the materialistic pop culture ideology beyond the financial freedom to enable me to live a good life, not acquire a bunch of stupid things I'll never use, my life is fairly simple, hassle-free, and I have few worries. I'm the type of guy who hates distractions so much that I prefer a small house with a small yard because it means I don't have to mow the lawn, clean it up, shovel snow, etc., which is counterintuitive to the materialistic ideology of always gunning for a bigger house. The only thing I gun for is to stay inspired and enjoy my life. There's no agenda to acquire a bunch of stuff, live in a big house, get a swimming pool in my backyard, etc. If I can't swim in a natural body of water, forget it. There are a lot of people out there either brainwashed by the system to pursue material success as the key to happiness, or with lost souls where they essentially don't know who they are, what their identities are that they were born within their souls, and what they feel they should naturally do with their lives, so they compensate for this emptiness within by going out and buying a bunch of things to feel like they're successful by society's standards and give themselves a rush for a minute or two, but it never works because you're not dealing with the problem of a bleeding soul. I know the shopping malls are filled every Saturday afternoon while I'm off outdoors somewhere doing one of my particular soulful pursuits. I shouldn't judge other people, but I can make the comment that I feel as though I live in a lost society because so many people tie their happiness to what they own materially. A lot of people, particularly girls, have a disease of excess where they'll own a huge room full of clothes, maybe 100 pair of shoes or so, all the while knowing there's some kid in Africa who barely owns one pair of worn-out shoes, yet all these materialistic addicted people think they're pretty cool, trendy, nice, good people while they live these lives of frivolous excessive waste, which strikes me as morally wrong in the karma spirit of life, yet this is the hypocrisy I see all the time. Which is why I'm somewhat contemptuous of the society I live in. Don't get me wrong, I like what our society has spawned in creating an abundance of material things at relatively low prices, but I only take what I need and don't waste money on buying useless things I'll never use, or giving into the fashion sense of frivolity by buying oodles of clothes just because I can afford them. It's all wrong to me that anyone could callously spend $50 on another article of clothing to add to their already overflowing collection when that money would help some poor native survive for a month elsewhere. This is what gets me. All these frivolous people running around with nothing better to do than color their hair, read the tabloids, buy new clothes to look fashionable and try to act cool, which is a worthless empty lifestyle to me, which is why I don't feel like the typical yuppie capitalist you might see walking around the mall. The modern era has spawned a large credit industry in order for these money lenders to make big profits by lending you money through credit cards and loans and charging you a high interest rate when you pay it off later. This credit system encourages an instant gratification mindset, reinforced when we see all the material wealth on TV every night, so most of us want it all, want it now, like that song by the pop band Queen said, "I want it all, I want it now." The net result is a nation of people living with households full of things they don't really own. The bank still owns it and they'll be paying it off for the next several years. Many people fall into vicious cycles of depression over debt, so in order to make themselves feel good, they go out and buy something on a credit card to treat themselves, with the ultimate result that they're adding to their debt load and it never ends. They're in that work-eat-spend cycle of the rat race, right where the system wants them to be, good docile worker clone consumers constantly spending their money and working for it to pay their bills. It's a perfect way to control the masses, a modern-day version of Rome's bread and circuses. I saw a TV show about all these stupid consumers who said with pride how they spent 10 to 12 hours a day every day on eBay.com looking to buy and sell things and add to their collections of junk which they thought enhanced their lives somehow. Get a life. A Partridge Family lunchbox is a piece of pop culture trash. Anybody who gives it more value than that is a stupid lost soul who deserves the stupid mundane life they're living. The only way to get over it is to clean all the trivial material stuff out of your house, give it to charity if you must, or sell it at a yard sale. Then live a simple life, focus on whatever inspired potential you feel in your soul. Get rid of most of your credit cards except for one, pay off your debts as quickly as you can, live as frugally as you can, and focus on culturing an inspired life of soulful pursuits and sensuous pleasures which are mostly free, sex and love, and get away from materialist ideology thinking. Go bankrupt if you must, then your credit rating will be destroyed for 7 years or more, so you won't be able to borrow money, which will be a good thing to help you get away from the materialistic lifestyle. My relationship with money is to pursue it by working hard on my naturally inspired pursuits to create something useful that others will pay me for, to help me in my quest to live a long free life, financially free of worrying about it. I don't care if I live in a little shack in the low-class part of town as long as I got some electricity and running water. You really don't need much in order to live a pretty good life. Treatments are often used in conjunction with one another, usually several at a time, whatever works. The most common treatments are mental health drugs, counseling, support groups, meditation, positive thinking, prayer, journaling, exercise, nutrition, vitamin therapy, holistic methods. Books about addictions in general are at number 616.86 or RC 564 at the library. Try number 332.019, number 332.4019 or HG221 to HG222 at the library for books about money as an addiction. Shopaholics.anonymous.org. Addictions.com. Addictions.org. Compulsive picking info. People pick at their own skin to the point of bruising and scratching. Stop-compulsive-picking.com. Trichotillomania / pulling hair out. Trichotillomania is hair pulling, pulling out one's own hair, eyelashes, nose hairs, etc. It's considered an impulse control disorder. I read one news story at webmd.com that said it has a genetic link. Trichotillomaniahelp.com